Welcome to part 27 of the 30 Ways to Become an Empowered Artist series. I'm Bob Baker, and on this one I'm going to be talking about a critically, vitally important way that you need to be communicating directly with your fans and customers, and it's a crucial element to being a successful artist. In fact, I think your future success hinges on this. As I mentioned, this is part 27, which means there's only a couple of days left in the series. And if you watch this on the day or soon after I post it, that means there's only a couple of days left in my first ever fan funding campaign for a book called The Empowered Artist. And I would really appreciate your support with this mission, this movement that I'm on to inspire and empower creative people just like you around the world. So please click the link below the video, above the video, somewhere on this page or somewhere in the description of this segment. You'll be able to find out more about it, and I would really appreciate that. So what is this thing that I'm talking about that allows you to directly communicate with your fans? As you should know by now, it's important for you to develop a direct relationship with the people who support you or are going to buy your products, your services, and attend your events. So even though this may seem kind of old school to some people, the best way to do that is through a mailing list. I'm talking about particularly an email list. You need a way to communicate directly with the people who know you and appreciate you and want to stay in the loop. And reaching people through their inboxes is still one of the most effective ways to do that. Now, I will admit it's not nearly as effective as it used to be several years ago. People used to be a little bit more excited about getting email and interested in that. Now we're all bombarded. I get that. So it may seem to some like it's out of style, but I still believe that it's the most potent way to be able to reach out to your audience. In fact, I was having this conversation recently with a friend of mine who primarily uses Facebook to get the word out about her creative activities. And she was kind of building her website and trying to build a business. And she was asking me, is email really that important? Should I even bother gathering those names and addresses still? So I asked her a couple of questions like, well, how did you find out about that 21-day meditation program that you signed up for? Did you hear about that on Facebook or on Twitter or YouTube? She said, no, actually, I found out about that through email because I had got on this particular person's list before. And I asked her, what about that event that you attended last month? Did you find out about that on Facebook? Oh, no, I got an email about that. Oh, yeah. So while it might not be the most sexy form of marketing to some, it's still the most effective. You need to be collecting the names and email addresses of people who are interested in what you do. You may remember back in part 22, I talked about the octopus marketing formula in which your personal website sits at the center of all of your activities online. And of course, that hub, that center of your activities consists primarily of your website. It has to be well designed, easy to navigate. But an equally important component of that hub is a mailing list. You have to use your website and other activities to continuously be asking people to sign up. But here's the key. These days, people just don't want to get more email. So just to please say, hey, get on the email list doesn't do a whole lot. You're going to get very slow response to that type of request. So what you need to do is give people an incentive to sign up. And that usually means giving them something free of value. And all they have to do to get this thing is enter their name and their email, or maybe just their email into a form and click submit. I'm sure this information is not new to you. You're probably already on a lot of email lists and you get a lot of email, so you know what I'm talking about here. But you have to offer something of value or a good reason for someone to get on your list. So for a musician, that might be giving away 3 or 4 of your song downloads. For an author, that could be some sample chapters of your book. For a visual artist, it might be some exclusive like painting tutorials showing your technique. For a speaker or other type of expert, it could be some checklists or some sort of resource related to your area of expertise. Just make sure that the thing that you're giving away is the type of thing that's going to attract your ideal fan, your ideal potential customer. Don't just give something random out. It's got to be related to your talent, to your topic, to your genre. And if you really want to step things up a notch, some of the smartest online marketers and artists don't even refer to it as an email list at all. They describe it as a community or some sort of a VIP club or backstage pass. And you list all these goodies that people get, exclusive access to behind the scenes videos and your free downloads that you're offering, maybe access to some private forum. But you invite them to join an exclusive community of like-minded people. And all this stuff is free to them. All they have to do is enter their email, perhaps their name too, and click submit, and they're in. And then once they're on your list, you need to communicate with them. Just collecting names and emails is just a very first step. Now it's your job to send regular updates to them. And I recommend at least once a month and perhaps twice a month or more if you've got more to say. And don't think that you have to create like this long newsletter, this in-depth report every time you send an email. In fact, it's better if it's short and sweet and to the point. In fact, you can just link to things that you've added to your website, new blog posts, new videos you've posted, new songs, new book chapters. Drive traffic to your personal website, that hub in the center of all your activities. Because as I mentioned in part 21, a crucial element of success is consistency and repetition over time. And an email list and communicating with your list is the ideal way to do that. Now, I'm not going to get into the mechanics of how to set up an email list and all that. There are a ton of services out there. I mean, if you got like 25 to 50 people, you can, put them maybe in the blind carbon copy of your regular email program and send it out to people. But really, you need an email management system, and there are many free and paid options out there. You're probably going to want to eventually go with a paid service to do this. But they automate the whole process for you. They give you the code to put on your website that creates the form. And then everything is hands-off from there on. People can subscribe, they can unsubscribe, they can update their email address, all without you having to do anything manually. But the bottom line is you gotta build the list. And at live events, that's a great way to collect those names and email addresses too. In fact, in many of my workshops, I will offer to give away the PowerPoint slides that I'm using that day. And all they have to do is sign up on the list, and I'll pass a clipboard around the room. It's really important when you do that to ask people to print clearly, and even put that on the form itself. And of course, you have to manually enter those into your mailing list program at a later date, preferably soon after the event. And these days, there are digital ways to collect that information at a live event. You can have an iPad or a tablet set up where people can enter their information, or you can give them a way to do it on their phones while they're sitting there. The bottom line is that you need to regularly create an incentive for people to get on the list. Always be asking. Always be building the list, always be adding to it, and then sending valuable, relevant information to your mailing list on a regular basis. It's a great way to stay in front of them. And as I mentioned, I think on the last video, that's how you make those sales offers periodically throughout the year. And email is really the best way to send those messages and get a decent response. So I hope I make the point clear here. You need a list. You need to always be asking people to sign up, creating ways. Just don't haphazardly show up at an event and go, oh, I forgot the list. I forgot to mention it. It's got to be a regular part of your routine. And every page of your website should have a sign-up form. And over time, that list will slowly grow, and your influence will grow along with it because you can directly communicate with the people whose lives you've already touched. Because otherwise, if you rely on just your posts on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube to make all your connections, you're going to be sorely disappointed. Because most people who even follow you or subscribe to your YouTube channel or whatever won't even see most of the stuff that you post. So a lot more people will see stuff that shows up in their inbox. All right, you get the point. Do it. Mailing list, crucial. You got it? Good. So if you're watching this on or before July 2nd, 2014, there's still time to check out the Empowered Artist Fan Funding Campaign. I would love your support, so please click that link, watch the welcome video, and consider making a contribution to that effort. After July 2nd, click the link anyway because there's going to be ongoing efforts related to the movement. So I would love to keep you posted on that. That's it for this segment. I'll be back tomorrow with 28, I believe. Until then, this is Bob Baker saying so long for now.